Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create this cute YouTube thumbnail and this matching outro. So first of all, we're going to start off with an image, and I chose this cute little, picture of a woman having a coffee at a coffee shop. I loved all the neutral tones, and I thought this would go very well with the design that I have in mind. So first I'm going to go to the gallery, and I'm going to find this faded effect that I'm going to apply to the picture, and it's going to look like the picture has a bit of a vignette effect on it, and it's only going to be at the bottom. I'm going to make the color a beige neutral tone to go with the colors in the image, and you can just find this effect in the gallery. Just type faded and you'll find this effect. Make sure to pick one that you can change color though. Now I'm going to move on to text. So I'm going to create two text boxes, and I'm going to fill in my text. This is going to be a day in the life themed YouTube video. So that's what I'm going to write, a day in the life. Don't worry, I am going to, change the fonts to, make it a little more dynamic. But right now I just went back to try and make this faded effect a little more interesting. So I wanted to layer this effect. So what you have to do is basically duplicate that element, and then you can layer it, and it will it's like increasing the opacity basically, but still keeping that faded look where you can see the picture behind showing through. So that's what I was trying to do here. I did fiddle a bit trying to find one where I could change the color, and it seems as though the ones where you can change the color, it's not the black ones. It's mostly, the blue ones or a color one, and then you can go in, you can basically look at the menu above, and when you see that little circle, then that means that you can change the color. That little circle is basically, the color picker, and that's how you access your color palette. That is what I'm doing right now. And yeah, basically guys, it's the blue ones. So if you're looking for this effect in Canva, it's definitely the blue ones. I tried this one, but it was fading a little too much, so I did duplicate it. And also you have to try them out, because this one, the color is a bit more brighter and more accurate compared to the one I chose first. The color was a bit faded, and I didn't really like that. I really wanted to look very aesthetic and very, soft. I want to give that very soft, look to the image, and I think it really goes with the theme and the vibe. It's very feminine and whatnot. So now I'm going to change the font of the text, and for my main thing, I'm going to pick the font Brittany, and for my subheading, I'm going to pick the font, I'm looking for a clean font, but that is also a bit dynamic to match how dramatic my main text is. Like, if you understand, like, I want a contrast, but I don't want it to look I don't want them to look too different, as if they're from two, different designs. Like, I still need it to look very seamless. And guys, font combos, guys, oh gosh, that is so hard, but it's a skill that you master like over time. And I feel like I haven't mastered that skill yet, but I'm getting there. But, I know exactly what I'm looking for, and guess what? This is exactly the font that I'm looking for. Stencil decorative. And it's a bit dynamic, and you can get it in a regular or bold version. It's a bit dynamic, but, it's still clean, and it's still easy to read, because that's one of, it's the most important part of the text, basically the creator's name, Shire. So now that I've chosen my font, I'm happy with that. So this is my end product. This is the thumbnail, guys. It's very simple. It's very aesthetic. It's very minimalistic. but it's also, I love these neutral tones. It's also very, you know, modern. It's sort of on trend with what the girlies are doing right now. So now I'm going to move on to my outro. So creating an outro is super easy. You just duplicate the canvas. I'm going to name this canvas outro and my thumbnail. So now I want to match the outro to the thumbnail, right? So I'm going to keep the same tones, and remember, Canva saves your palette, so it's super easy to create a bunch of similar designs. I'm just going to copy and paste my my headings from my thumbnail. I'm going to paste that on my outro canvas, and I'm just going to change the text. I'm also going to copy that same faded effect, that element, to my outro, and I want everything to sort of have the seamless look. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. And now I'm going to go look for some icons. So Canva has this extensive library of icons, images, videos, you name it, they have it. Okay. So I just have to type in whatever I'm looking for, you know, Instagram, and then it's going to give you all the Instagram icons, TikTok, and it's going to give you all the TikTok icons. And what is so cool about Canva is that you can customize these icons. So that's what I'm going to do really soon. I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to change the color of these icons to match the color palette of my design. But first I want to get all my elements on the canvas, and I'm looking for the subscribe button. You know, that subscribe button that you always see in an outro, just to remind your followers to, you know, subscribe to your channel or follow you. So that's basically what I'm looking for. And now I'm going to copy and I'm going to duplicate that same text with Shire, because I want to use that font to basically write the usernames. So Shire is going to basically show you she's on Instagram, TikTok, and I'm also going to add Snapchat. So obviously we need to tell people what our username is, right? We can't just leave, you know, we can't just put a social media icon there and expect people to find us. So that's what I'm going to do. And don't worry, I'm going to reorganize all of these elements on in the design. I think that I would rather put the icons on top and the username at the bottom. I feel like that looks very neat. So now I'm just going to play around with the colors and see which one I like. And this is so cool, guys. You can literally, you don't have to use a plain and generic social media icon. You can just change the color palette to match your aesthetic. Isn't that super cool? And I'm going to do the same for TikTok. And I was super excited to try this. I mean, look, I'm going to change the circle element. I'm going to change the color to a neutral brown to match the rest of my design. And yeah, I think this looks really cool. So I can do the same with the subscribe button. Instead of leaving it a bright red, I can also make it a neutral tone to match the rest of the elements. So now you can see me just rearranging all the elements so that everything makes sense, everything is equal, everything is proportionate, and everything is aligned. And now I'm going to just change the colors of the subscribe button. It's so cool. You can just change each element. You can change the color of the word subscribe, you can change the color of the bell, you can change the color of the little circle where the bell is, and yeah, now everything sort of matches, and I'm super happy with that. Now I'm not done with this design. I want to add a Snapchat symbol as well. And I'm also going to add a Snapchat username. So I'm just going to type Snapchat, and it's just as easy as that. You'll get all of these elements, and we finally found the Snapchat logo, and we're going to change the colors to match the rest of my design, obviously. And look at that, guys. Isn't that so cool? Now everything matches. Everything is sort of on brand. And now I'm just going to organize everything. And what you want to do when you are arranging all of these elements and you want all the spaces in between to be equal, everything to be aligned so that, it doesn't look off. What you're going to do is you're going to select all the elements that you want. It's very useful to group them as well so that, when you click realign or align to the left or align to the center or align to the right or align to the bottom or to the top, that all your elements don't go all crazy and, go all over the place. So you want to group, say, the Instagram symbol with the username text. You want to group that together. You want to do the same for Snapchat and you want to do the same for TikTok. So that is how you do that. And then you can select all of them and then you can right click basically or click on those three dots and then you see there's an option that says align to page, and that's where you can basically choose how you want to align all your elements on the page. So that takes me quite a while to do, so I'm not going to show you all of that. It's just me aligning and realigning the Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat icons. Like, it's literally just me realigning everything. But guys, Canva does have these guides where everything just locks into place or snaps to guide. It's this feature that you can also find in Illustrator. It just adjusts everything for you so that you don't have to go look for the center. You know what I mean? So that is also very helpful. So now I'm going to jump into animation. So Canva has a score animation feature where you can animate each element in your design. So basically you have this menu. First of all, to find the animation feature, it's just right on top there, as you can see on that menu, that little toolbar. You just press animate, and then you can open this menu where you have access to all of these different animation styles. So you just click on the element that you want to animate, and you can try out all of them and just preview them and see if it works for you. I find this feature very cool for very short animations. And I think it's very useful if you want to make a YouTube outro. So you don't just want a static image, just a very, just a still image at the end of your video. You want to animate it a bit so that people stay tuned and so that it keeps people interested and also emphasizes on the things that you want them to pay attention to, such as obviously the subscribe button. So first of all, I'm going to start with my heading, the same heading that I used in my thumbnail, keeping up with, and I'm going to just animate that. So it's going to be a bit hard to explain everything I do, but guys, I'm just playing around with all of these templates, all of these different animations like pan, blur, drift, and I'm just applying everything to all the elements so that, everything sort of moves at the same time in a very seamless way, but also, in a way that makes sense. So I want the bottom elements, the social media icons to just come up from the bottom. And then I want the heading to appear in a very subtle way. So right now I'm just previewing everything. Like, I love how the heading appears like that in a little blurry way. I don't know how to explain it. I want with Shia not to be I don't want it to be as dramatic as the main heading, and I want that subscribe button to basically just pop, because that is the most important part, and that's what Shia wants you to do, is to subscribe. So I could have added maybe like a follow me for all the social media profiles, but I feel like I want to keep the design very simple, and it's pretty obvious what you want people to do, especially with that motion of those elements just appearing like from the bottom and just rising up or drifting up slightly. So basically this is what I wanted, but I want the icons to rise up like that, to drift up. And I feel like this is so, pretty. It's rising up a little too much for my liking. So I'm going to play around a bit with the different animation styles to make it do exactly what I want. I don't want it coming out from the side like that. I want it coming out from the bottom, just like that. So that is baseline. And you can basically choose the speed. You can choose whether it's that motion comes in at the beginning or even at the end. Say you wanted to, rise up and then fall down again. So that's basically the on enter or on exit setting. So I'm really happy with that. I do want to add another text that says, remember to subscribe. I want to put that right next to the subscribe button. And I want to make it a light color so that it is very noticeable and a bit of the focal point. So I'm just going to write remember to, and I'm going to put it right next to the subscribe button like that. I'm going to change the color to that same off-white color that I used for keeping up with, and I'm gonna put it next to the subscribe button just like that. And guys, I'm quite literally done, and that's all it takes. Like, it's super easy. Canva makes this super easy. So if you are like on your content creation journey, definitely use Canva. I have the pro version, so I have access to a lot of features, almost all of them. But really, I feel like Canva is a really useful tool to invest in. I mean, look at that. Isn't that so cute? Now I have a thumbnail for my video. Very aesthetic, very eye-catching, very alluring. You want to see, what's next? What is this about? A day in the life of Shia. Like, I love that. And then you have this really cool outro to end your video. Thank you for watching, and please remember to subscribe if you want to see more of this. And also you can find this design as a template on Etsy.